Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special short edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It's your boy Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott. Follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barberchair Network. Visit the bcnet.com. All that good shit, man. We are here just gonna talk to y'all for about 15 minutes, man. I just want to preview Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, which will be going on Monday night. I don't know if you'll be watching this on Sunday or Monday morning. Either way, happy Memorial Day weekend. Hope you were getting drunk, having some good barbecue, and having a good time with your family and friends this weekend. So let's just get into it, man. Last night, while I'm recording this on Sunday, so last night was Game 6, one of the craziest games that I can remember seeing in the playoffs in a long time. The Miami Heat lost their third in a row. Celtics won 104-103, and they survived yet another day. Just this time a week ago, we were talking about the Denver Nuggets getting ready to complete a sweep on the Los Angeles Lakers, which they did on Monday night. And we were talking about the Miami Heat about to do the same thing to the Boston Celtics, and we were going to have two sweeps in the conference finals for the first time. But man, just how much shit can change in a week. The Celtics rallied in Game 4 with a late surge there to win Game 4 in Miami. Blowout dub in Game 5 back at TD Garden, and just a very competitive last-minute game last night in Game 6, man. There's just so many things to talk about, man, and I think that let's just get into, how the Celtics got here. Of course, if everybody knows the stat, you've seen it by now. NBA teams are 0-150 in the NBA playoffs, when down 0-3 in a playoff series. The biggest comeback in NBA history wasn't 3-0, it was 3-1. Of course, we know in the NBA Finals 7 years ago, which is crazy that it's been 7 years ago. Like, time is honestly fucking flying. But it was just something that with the Cleveland Cavaliers come back against 73-9 Golden State Warriors. So I kind of feel like this would be, this would be bigger. Now, of course, that was the NBA Finals, but we've never seen anything like this before. And Jaylen Brown, after losing Game 3, went up to, the podium, or I don't know if it was a court interview with the media, and he said, "Don't let us win one." Now, for a lot of you kids out there who's like, "Oh, that's going to be an iconic quote if he says it," do your Googles, man. He is not the first person to say that. He got that from Kevin Millar, who is a former Boston Red Sox of the 2004 Red Sox, who became the first Major League Baseball team to come back from an 0-3 deficit in the American League Championship Series against the New York Yankees. In fact, there's only been 3 teams in the history of professional sports to come back from 0-3. Twice happened in the NHL, one happened in the MLB, never happened in the NBA. So do your Googles, man. I know a lot of y'all young. That's fine. You can go on right now to ESPN Plus, go on over to the 30 for 30 section, and click on 4 Days in October, one of the best 30 for 30s ever. You can watch the story of the 2004 Red Sox and how they came out. Kevin Millar told that to Boston Globe reporter David Shaughnessy, said, "Don't let us win one. We win one. We got Pedro going in Game 5. We got Schilling going in Game 6. Anything can happen in Game 7, which is exactly what happened in that series. They won Game 4 with still a second base being stolen by now Los Angeles Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. He was known for stealing that second base, and Big Papi David Ortiz won that game in extra innings for the Red Sox. Game 5, Pedro Martinez put up a great performance. They won Game 5, another late inning thriller. Game 6, of course, we all know about the Curt Schilling bloody sock. I personally thought it was some bullshit when it happened. I think it's some bullshit now, especially if we know how much of a piece of shit Curt Schilling is in real life. But I fucking digress. He went out there, put up an all-time performance. Then they went to Game 7. And the thing about Game 7 in Yankee Stadium, a lot of people forget, it wasn't close. The Red Sox beat their ass all up and down. So we don't know if that's going to be the same case in this. I know a lot of you have been saying over these last, 15 hours, the heater done. I don't know how you come back from mentally, that all the pressure's on them. No, it's bullshit. The pressure's on both of them, because the loser of this game goes to, on summer vacation, and summer vacation in a bad way, because if you're the Heat. Now, if you're a guy like Jimmy Butler, I love Jimmy. Jimmy's one of my favorite players, obviously. My team, Bulls, drafted him. I have a soft spot for Jimmy. He is going to get hell dropped upon him. This is going to be maybe the biggest slander we've seen of an NBA player since LeBron James after he threw up that 8-point bullshit in 2011 NBA Finals. It's going to be to that level. It's going to be even bigger than how they cooked Steph in 2016. Jimmy, he's going to be the brunt of some criticism, man. It's going to be something that's going to be kind of crazy if that happens, but this is just something here where, the winner of it is going to be, have a lot of momentum, but the loser's going to feel bad. Even if you're the Celtics, you win 3 in a row, and you come in here and you make it to a game 7 at home, and you lose, nobody's going to give a fuck a year from now, 5 years from now. I'd rather get swept than, get my hopes up and lose in the game 7 at home. But game 6 last night, Jason Tatum, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. He only had 2 second-half field goals. I need to see a little bit more from Tatum on a more of a complete game scale, but he's been great. Jason Tatum in elimination games is another thing. Like, he just does not lose elimination games. He plays like the guy that we want him to play like. I said on our show on Wednesday after we did right before they played game 4. No, right before they played game 5. I need to see his ass get in the post, and that's what he's been doing these last 2 games, and it's been working out tremendously. I think the biggest thing also, more than just that, is the defense is turned up for the Celtics. They're hitting 3-point shots. They're hitting their 3-point shots, which is just something they were just not doing in the first 3 games. They weren't hitting their 3-point shots. Jaylen Brown has really turned it up these last 2 games. He was really great. In the first half of this game, he finished with 26 points, 10 rebounds. Marcus Smart, 21 points. Derek White, man, the hero of this game, 11 big points, couple big threes, and, of course, the game winner with like 0.9 seconds left. Incredible. He's just been big since the end of this comeback also. But this is the first time. This is only the Celtics only the 4th team in NBA history to force a game 7 down 0-3. The last team to do that was approximately 20 years ago. It was the 2003 Portland Trailblazers, who were down 0-3 to the Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, Michael Finley led Dallas Mavericks. Ended up losing that game 7 in Dallas. This will be the first time that a game 7 will be hosted by the team that's down 0-3 in this series. For the Heat, man, of course, the others showed up. I think that's, if you're a Heat fan, if you're the Heat, this is something where I feel like you can get a little bit of optimism from, but also you got to kind of be killing yourself about too, with the fact that the others, as Shaq likes to call them, showed out. Caleb Martin continued to have a great postseason. He put up 21 points and 15 rebounds. He was single-handedly keeping the Heat in that game in the first half. You had great production from Max Strus and Gabe Vincent coming back from that ankle injury. It did not look like he lost anything. They have 25 points combined. And Duncan Robinson, man, 13 big points off the bench, but also Duncan Robinson, 2 huge missed 3-pointers, wide open 3-pointers that could have potentially won this game for the Miami Heat. I know he's got to be, punching himself right now just thinking about that shit. But the story here for the Miami Heat is Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. They were 9 for 37 combined in game 6. Just terrible. That's not the shit that you want from your 2 stars, especially somebody like Jimmy Butler, who's had such a great postseason. Jimmy has not had a good series since game, the first 2 games, he was great. Game 3, he was so-so. But after since game 3, he's been on the milk box. He's been on the milk cart. And if I'm going to go up here and I'm going to be talking about other players when they're folded and things like that, I got to be non-biased, talk about the players that, I'm fans of. Jimmy got to get this shit together. This is on him. If we're talking about legacy, this is on him. Same thing for Coach Spoelstra. We love Spo. He's one of the greatest coaches of this generation, one of the greatest coaches of all time. You don't want that 0-3 mark on your resume. That's a dark cloud that's never going to get up. And so if you want to look at it from a positive perspective, if you're a Heat fan, you're like, look, all we need is Jimmy and Bam to show up and we win that game easily. But you can also say is, damn, we could have won this if they'd have just gave us something. Jimmy, I think the thing about Jimmy that was more infuriating more than anything is the difference between him and Bam. Bam was aggressive. He was just missing shots. Jimmy wasn't aggressive. I kind of felt like he would get close to the rim and he would start glitching like it's a fucking video game. Like he just automatically turned and try to pass to somebody else. And we seen that shit way too much. Take the fucking shot. Now we'll give some love to the Boston Celtics defense. They've been playing way harder the defense on him in the last couple of games, and it's worked out tremendously. But he's got to be more aggressive. At the end of the game, he had a big 3, had a big and 1, and then he made 3 straight cold-blooded free throws to give them the 1-point lead with 3 seconds left on the clock. Now, I know there was a big thing on Twitter about maybe the refs adding too much time. I'm glad they broke it down on Inside the NBA, because this is something I forgot too, also for being in the arena, is that the arena clock is not the same as the clock you see on television. So the appropriate time was actually the appropriate time being made there. But the thing that bit the Heat in the ass, the same thing that's bit the Heat in the ass these last couple games they've lost, boxing out. Like Bam Adebayo should walk to Boston for not being anywhere near that ball to let Derek White get that ball and get the rebound. So this is something where you come into a game 7 and I literally have no idea what the fuck is going to happen. I originally when this series started about 9 days ago now, I originally said that this team, not 9 days, about 2 weeks ago, that the Celtics were going to win the 7, because it's never been a matter of, who's the better team. The Celtics have always been the better team. I think that's been what's infuriating about the Celtic run, is they should be in the NBA Finals with ease, especially with the Milwaukee Bucks being eliminated. Now, we just know that the Heat have been playing on the elite level, but the Celtics wanted the ultimate fuck around and find out teams, and that's why they've been bullshitting and just staying around and not and keep playing with their food. So if we're going by talent-wise, if the Celtics play their best game and the Heat play their best game, the Celtics are going to win every time. And I think that's what we've been seeing these last couple of games. Now, I know home court advantage is big, but we're not really for this team here. This is a team that has an under 500 record at TD Garden at home these last 3 postseasons. So I really think this game could go anywhere. I think the only result that would shock me for Game 7 is if the Heat blow out the Celtics. That's an option I don't see. I could see a generational Jimmy Butler game with a great Bam game, and they win a close one. I could see the Celtics winning a close one. Maybe we get a game winner by Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown or something like that. And I can also see Boston coming out just flat out whooping their ass. The first quarter of that game is going to tell me a lot about this. So as far as who I'm picking, look, man, I think this playoffs, I got to give the NBA some credit. This is probably one of the worst NBA regular seasons of all time. I mean, it was just terrible front to back, going all the way up to All-Star Weekend, which is the worst All-Star Weekend I've ever seen. But these playoffs have been incredible. These playoffs have been amazing. Our predictions in the media have been hit and miss. I'm still going to stick with the Miami Heat, man. I'm still stick with the Miami Heat for a couple reasons. One, I got to ride with my dog Jimbo. I'm going to go down with the ship. And 2, you just can't trust this Boston Celtic team. I don't care how great they've looked these last 3 games. You just can't trust them. It'll be peak Boston Celtics for them to lose at home, coming all the way back. So I can't, until 0-0-0 on that clock and the Boston Celtics have more points than Miami Heat, I just can't trust the Celtics, man. So I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I don't think that Boston will blow them out. I think it will be a good one. But it's going to be very entertaining. And if you're the Denver Nuggets, man, I know you're probably enjoying this rest. For those of you who need to be reminded, I was actually reminded this yesterday because I forgot. If the Boston Celtics win game 1 of the NBA Finals on Thursday, will be in Boston, not in Denver, which is a big thing because the Celtics finished with the second best record in the NBA after the Milwaukee Bucks. So they will have home court, which is something they didn't have in the NBA Finals last year if they do play the 2-time MVP and the Denver Nuggets. And if you're Miami, then you will head to the Mile High, which coming off a grueling 7-game series, playing that altitude is not something that I think will be great. And as much as I want the Heat to win, I do think that the Celtics will be a much more competitive series for it'll be a much more competitive series for the for the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets will probably make some quick work out of the Miami Heat, but we'll get into all that later this week. Once again, man, you know where to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Of course, look at the bottom of the screen at Barberchair Scott. Follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barberchair Network. Visit the bcnet.com. This week, we got a lot more stuff on the Patreon. We didn't have a lot dropping. We didn't really have anything drop this week except for, I think we did the Guardians of the Galaxy pod we dropped last week. So check that out. But this week, we'll be back recapping Succession. Series is finally over, and summer sessions, all that good shit will be back. Ball Don't Lie, me and Dante will be doing a full NBA Finals preview show, and I will also be doing this week's episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You will be an NBA Finals preview, so get ready for all of that. So I appreciate y'all time, man. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend, and I will holler at y'all this Wednesday, man, as we get ready for the NBA Finals. I'm out of here.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not other